Let's start today's news. Sunita Williams, who spent 9 months stuck in space with fellow astronaut Butch Wilmore. She and Butch Wilmore both have landed, and she was helped out of a SpaceX capsule that landed off the Florida coast on March 19th. So, big news. Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore, after a stay of 9 months, they have actually reached the earth. They have reached the earth. It was a big news that is coming up, and the entire earth, from many countries, people are watching the entire episode curiously. After an unexpected 9 months stay in space, a pair of NASA astronauts finally returned to the earth, concluding a mission that gripped global attention and became a political flashpoint. A SpaceX Crew Dragon spaceship carrying Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams, alongside fellow American Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunov, streaked through the atmosphere before deploying parachutes for a gentle splashdown off the Florida coast at 5:57 p.m. So, very big news for the world, and particularly for the world of space and astronauts. Coming back, days after peace deal, clashes break out in Manipur. Fresh clashes broke out between the Hamar and Zomi communities in the Restu Churchandapur district of Manipur, days after a peace settlement was reached between their apex bodies. A 53-year-old person was killed in the violence. Officials said the Hamars opposed a Zomi group's hoisting of their community flag. The clashes that ensued killed one person. The district authorities imposed Section 163 of Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Samhita, that is curfew. The Hamar and Zomi communities right now have agreed to work together for peace after the assault on Hamar leader triggered the clashes between the two communities. So this is the issue. Again, there is a fresh violence in Manipur. In Churchandapur district, curfew was imposed. And Telangana budget. Telangana Finance Minister presents 3.04 lakh crore state budget for 2025-2026. The Telangana government has presented a massive 3.04 lakh crore budget for the financial year 2025-2026. The budget crossing 3 lakh crore marked for the first time since the formation of the Telangana state, encompassing revenue expenditure of 2.26 lakh crore and capital expenditure of rupees 36,504 crore. The total outlay is 5% higher than the current year's 2.91 lakh crore. That is 2024-2025 it is 2.91 lakh crore. For 2025-2026 it is 3.04 lakh crore. The budget, however, reflects the state's continued dependence on borrowings estimated at a close of 70,000 crore, including open market borrowings of 64,539 crore during the next fiscal. The welfare-oriented budget presented in the Assembly projects a surplus of 2,378 crore, fiscal deficit of almost 54,000 crores. Major allocations have been made for agriculture, panchayat raj, education, etc. And major share went to BC welfare, SC welfare and ST welfare also. And there are 6 guarantees given by the Congress government: Raitu Bharosa, Cheyuta, Mahalakshmi. For other programs, the government allotted good amounts in the budget. So, Telangana budget was presented yesterday. Telangana budget was presented yesterday. It's a big news for Telangana, and this is the first time it crossed 3 lakh crore after the Telangana state was formed. It's a big news that is coming up in Telangana. Coming back, Union Cabinet approved implementation of revised Rashtriya Gokul Mission with enhanced allocation for 2024-2025 to 2025-2026. So, revised Rashtriya Gokul Mission to boost growth in the livestock sector. The revised mission will be implemented as a central sector component of the developmental program scheme with an additional outlay of 1,000 crore. 2 new activities have been introduced under the revised Rashtriya Gokul Mission scheme. See, Rashtriya Gokul Mission scheme is very important with respect to livestock protection and improvement of livestock sector in India. And here, one thing, they are giving assistance to the farmers. Not only that, under the Rashtriya Gokul Mission, they are encouraging farmers to purchase high genetic merit HGM IVF heifers by providing a 3% interest subvention on loans taken from milk unions, financial institutions or banks for such purchases. So, they are trying to improve our livestock production by the program Rashtriya Gokul Mission, and the Union Cabinet approved the revised Rashtriya Gokul Mission. It's a very important thing. And till date, over 8.39 crore animals have been covered under this scheme, and 5.21 crore farmers have been benefited. Rashtriya Gokul Mission has also been at the forefront of introducing advanced breeding technologies to farmers. Advanced breeding technologies, a keyword. Advanced breeding technologies to the farmers. A total of 22 in vitro fertilization labs have been set up under state livestock boards or universities, leading to the birth of 2,541 high genetic merit cows. This is very important. 2,541 high genetic merit cows. That is, they are trying to promote and protect high genetic merit with respect to the cattle, particularly cows. Additionally, the development of Gau chip, Mahish chip, genomic chips for indigenous bovines created by National Dairy Development Board and ICAR National Bureau of Animal Genetics and the ICAR National Bureau of Animal Genetic Resources. So, they are trying to promote the livestock, particularly they are trying to protect the breeding and also more importantly new breeding, advanced breeding technologies and high genetic merit HGM, bovines, calves, etc. Very important for that. Coming back, next important news, India concerned over situation in Gaza as over 400 killed by Israeli airstrikes. India expressed concern over the situation in Gaza and called for supply of humanitarian assistance to people of the conflict area in Palestine. India's comments came as Israel resumed airstrikes in Gaza, triggered uncertainty over the fragile ceasefire that it sealed with Hamas in January. According to the Hamas-run health ministry, over 400 people were killed in the Israeli bombing recently. India said, our external affairs ministry said, we are concerned at the situation in Gaza. It is important that all hostages should be released. It is important that all hostages should be released. That is India's statement. See, India is now following a policy called de-hyphenation policy. What do you mean by de-hyphenation policy? With respect to dealing with Israel and Palestine, India will connect with Israel and India will connect with Palestine in the separate sense. India will not link up Palestinian issue while dealing with Israel. India will not link up Palestinian issue with respect to dealing with Israel. This is called de-hyphenation policy. And for the first time, after the state of Israel was formed, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the first Prime Minister of India to visit Israel. And we also made I2U2, India, Israel, US and UAE. I2U2 also, that is also very interesting and important. Next important news, India's trade deficit hits 3.5-year low in February. India's merchandise exports were lowered at a sharpest pace in 20 months and they got decreased sharply in the month of February also. So, India has a huge trade deficit right now and this is a difficult period. India has a huge trade deficit right now and we are trying to improve our exports but still we have a huge trade deficit. The dip is primarily due to slowdown in global demand and ongoing challenges faced by the key export sectors, including the impact of global tariff war. So, the dip is primarily due to lowered global demand and ongoing challenges faced by the key export sectors, including the impact of global tariff war. This is also important. And the other interesting news is a negative news. America continues to grapple with bird flu outbreak. The country have now reported the first outbreak of the deadly H7N9 strain. Reportedly, this is the first outbreak in America of H7N9 strain since 2017. The ongoing bird flu outbreak has caused egg prices to hit record high. The spread of avian influenza in America, particularly commonly called bird flu, has ravaged flocks around the world, disrupted supply and fueling the high food prices. So, bird flu is now have seen H7N9 virus case in America. And what are the symptoms of H7N9? Fever, cough, headache and muscle pain, etc. So, H7N9 is one of the dangerous strains in bird flu. The next important news is coming up with respect to India's remittances. Gulf share with respect to India's remittances, that is Middle East share with respect to India's remittances have declined sharply. In fact, India is the largest recipient of foreign remittances. Last year, I can tell it is $125 billion. Last year, it is $125 billion remittances. But unfortunately, our remittances from the Middle East got declined sharply last year. Our remittances from US and UK put together in our overall remittances, they count for 40%. Whereas our remittances from the Middle East got declined sharply. Besides boosting India's remittances from the rest of the world, the post-pandemic period have also seen sharp decline of India's remittances from the Gulf countries. According to the Reserve Bank of India latest survey on remittances, analysis from the RBI bulletin shows that America is one of the top contributors to the India's remittances, and also UK. UK is also one of the top contributors to the India's remittances. Remittances are an important source of external funding to India, especially at a time when FDI has slowed down. India's total remittances in 2024 is around $129 billion, with a 14.3% share of global remittances outflows. India received more money than the next two countries combined. So, right now, this is very important. Maharashtra tops in the list of remittances, that is 20.5%, replacing Kerala. Earlier, Kerala is the largest recipient of remittances. Why Maharashtra could replace Kerala? The reason is, in Kerala, most of the remittances come from Middle East, but remittances from the Middle East have drastically declined. So now Maharashtra in India is receiving large remittances, that is 20.5% of all the remittances received by India, followed by Kerala 19.7%. Tamil Nadu also gained and Karnataka also gained. Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, they are also doing good in remittances, particularly Maharashtra topped in remittances. This point we need to understand. Next important news that is coming up. Union Cabinet on March 19th approved an incentive scheme for promotion of low-valued BHIM UPI transactions for the financial year 2024-2025. Cabinet approved a scheme which provides incentives for the promotion of UPI transactions. The Cabinet said we will support the banks and provide incentives to the banks. The incentive will be provided at a rate of 0.15% transaction value for the transactions up to rupees 2,000. So, low value transactions will be supported and incentives will be given, so that more and more number of low value transactions will be online transactions, wire transactions instead of cash transactions. So, 0.15% incentive will be given to the banks, which encourage low value transactions below 2,000. It's very important. Next news that is coming up. World Bank approved $102 million package for Pakistan's microfinance sector. You all know that Pakistan is languishing in poverty. Many of the poor people are suffering in Pakistan. World Bank approved $102 million loan for Pakistan's microfinance sector. The World Bank has approved $102 million package to assist Pakistan in strengthening its microfinance sector amid climate-related challenges. The Resilient and Accessible Microfinance Project, endorsed by the World Bank's Board of Directors, is a part of a strategic effort to continue support to the Pakistan's rural areas and also the areas where there is a high risk of climate changes in Pakistan. So, World Bank is supporting Pakistan. And the other important news is coming up with respect to Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine President Zelensky and also Russian President Putin, they both agreed that they will not attack each other's energy infrastructural projects. Ukrainian President Zelensky has agreed to partially cease fire in the war against Russia that was discussed by American President Trump and his Russian counterpart Putin. The two leaders agreed on a partial ceasefire against their energy infrastructures, the White House spokesperson said. So, Putin and Zelensky agreed that each other will not attack on their energy infrastructure. And technical teams will meet in Saudi Arabia in the coming days to discuss broadening the ceasefire to the Black Sea on the way to a full ceasefire agreement. So, there might be a chance that America might support full ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Very soon we can listen good news from that.
కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ప్రత్యేకంగా సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ఏ ఆప్షన్ చూస్ చేసుకోవాలి, ప్రిపరేషన్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి, ఏ బుక్స్ రిఫర్ చేయాలి, ఇలాంటి డౌట్స్ ఉంటే CSBIS అకాడమీని కాంటాక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు. దీనికి సంబంధించి నా పర్సనల్ అపాయింట్మెంట్ ఈ వీడియో పైన డిస్ప్లే అవుతున్న కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్కి ఫోన్ చేసి తీసుకోవచ్చు.